Greetings. Ooh, so much to say. I'm going to tell you about Tartaria in a little while. I'm going to go on a little journey. We're going to go back in time. But for the present, we stay in the present. Did you know that there's no such word as please and thank you in the Aboriginal language? Because the idea is, if there's food, everybody eats, so there's no need for please or thank you. What a far better way of doing things, because all roads lead to Rome. So I don't want to be a row man. I want to get as far away from there as possible. A pharaoh, a pharaoh. You know, this world is very much locked into the three-dimensional 1 to 9 sequence. Which is a shame, really. If you don't succeed, try again, they say. I don't want to suck seeds, really. I'd rather plant them and let them grow. Because this is the thing, in this 3D reality, in this business world, we are taught to succeed, and then you become successful. You really want to be sucking on cess? That's not true wealth, is it? But why do we need to try again and again and again and again? Because it's three. We're 3 in 1 anyway. We're past, present and future. We're mind, body and soul. So try is 3. It's the number of the divine feminine. So there's 3 lots of divine feminine. That's very imbalanced the other way. You need to add something to those 3s. How about after 3 tries, you add 1, you make a 10, Arten. Now don't think it's a singular being, because it's going to take 2 to tango. I mean, let's look at tango. T, Satan, and then there's An. It's a reference to Anu. You've heard of the Anunnaki, I take it. I'll come on to that in a minute. So yeah, Arten means light, as opposed to Amun, which means night. But we don't want Apollo, really, do we? Things always have more than one meaning, all the way through. But yeah, let's talk about Anu. Now, the Anunnaki. You'll notice when you see those carvings on those cylinder seals, I mean, there's always talk of reptilians, and then you see these Anunnaki, and they look pretty much like us. They're men with beards. Oh, okay, they're more braided. So there's the whole reptilian serpent thing, and the hosts and the host bodies ideas comes into this as well. Anu is encoded in so much. I'd like to introduce you to an Anunnaki. I think you'll be very surprised. We're going on a little journey now. You've got to think of Anu. What is Anu? And it is all element Aries, my dear Sun. And I think that was Sherlock Holmes, because we want to get out of this trap. And remember, it's 22B, 222, because B is the second letter. So there's a 6 there. Doesn't mean it's bad though, does it? But anyway, I digress. Anu. So let's break that down. Let's see what we've got there. We've got the A, which means all, or upper, or alpha male. They always have 2 meanings to these letters as well. I'll come on to that in a minute as well, because that's very interesting. And it goes back to what I was saying about the Aboriginals and no use of the word please. In fact, I'll get that out of the way now. P is pie. We all want a slice of the pie. If you take the P away, what are you left with? A lease? So what about these letters? Who's letting? And who's renting them? There's always a buyer behind everything. The shekel groovers, the money grabbers, the moon eye. It's been that way all along. I'll come back to that later. Anyway, Anu, the A, for all. Then you've got your N, which is Lord, and that's you. So who is Anu? Who is Anunnaki? Well, you're an Anunnaki. I bet you never thought of that. See, it's not just as playing the trick on saying about the fallen angels, when in fact you are all fallen angels and you are all Anunnaki. Because does it not say you were made in God's image? Okay, we may have been something before in a different variation, some sort of what they call a hominid, before these Anunnaki came along and tinkered about with things. Whether they're good or bad remains to be seen. It's not looking good in some ways. Anu is lunar, is annual, that's time, that's a year. And putting a Y chromosome into an ear, EA, and then R, Ra. How about we go on a little journey? Let's go back in time, shall we? What about arrival in Utopia? Or a rival in Utopia? Let me just read you this. These are song lyrics. Arrival in Utopia by Hawkwind. I'm speaking Hawkwind, you could say. So to start with, in Tartaria, you had dreams of gold and shiny towers, of lazy days and thrilling hours, fields of wonders, streets of fear, around above in ships we sailed through the air. So that's near the end of Tartaria, because you've got streets of fear. But then came those Phoenicians full pelt, and they twisted and corrupted everything. So now we have dreams and steel and glass and wire. A blaze of wine and nights of fire. Dreamt up dogs that talked like boys, all go to prove a running joy. You see, what it's saying there is the simplicity in nature is far better than this superficial world that we have today and all these gadgets, and they are all electrics, L-ec-tricks, and there's an L-ec-shun, and you vote and you volt, and you're giving your energy to something. You're giving a message that you're happy with one or the other ones that they've given you to choose from. Life is like a box of chocolates, but you only have a choice of the chocolates in that box. Remember that. That's not a free choice. That's just the selection to elect. But anyway, when you've gone through this, or going through this awakening process, and now our dreams are true, we don't know what to do, because we don't like it here, for there's nothing for us to fear from the mindless in Utopia, because this can be Utopia as well. We can create the world around us. There are those that won't see it. That's their choice. They've made that choice. If they don't want to wake up, they won't wake up, will they? Let them stay asleep. Don't disturb their slumber. Oh, bless them. But MA, I've called this series Matrix Unlocked. Now MA is very important together. The M contains a V. You could say it's like a woman's open legs, and then the A, which is the all. So again, it's showing the MA is divine feminine. That together. Now you put it with Earth, which is G. You've got Mag. Now you've got Magnet. You've got Magdalene. You've got magnificence. It's the divine feminine. But you need to know about the battle, because there's a B. So there's two sides to this, because they always play two sides. And remember, you're to be or not to be. B is very important, to see both sides. And then you have the A for the all, Be all. Now you've got two T's. So that's Satan twice, and then L. And then after that there's energy. So this is what we're up against. It's encoded in the words. It's important to see this. And then there's of course the matrix, M-A at the front. It's a tricks on May, like the electrics. They are just tricks, they're illusions. They're conjuring up a black magic. We want a white magic, a magic of light. That's what we are here for, is it not? The world is a stage, so take a starring role. Be your own director, be your own producer. Be your own scriptwriter. Paint your own back scenes. I said back scenes, not vaccines. Just in case, I must clarify. It must be clear, because we don't want it fied, because there's so many words with fi. Like a confide dance. Well, who are you telling it to? You've got to be so careful, because deception is everywhere around, and you always have to look both ways. This is why there is controlled opposition out there, because it all helps with their divide and conquer tactics. So we've got to stay in balance and stay neutral. Give everybody a chance. Don't dismiss and write off anything they have to say, because you're all important. You all have valid points to make. And when you've got 360 points, you see all round. And then you'll see the centre point. Think about the points on a triangle. If you're not thinking 4, you've missed the centre point. And it replicates. So this is why try again only comes to 9. 3 tries is 9. You need a 10. That's how we break the cycle. Otherwise we're just going to keep going round and round infinity. We don't want to be benign, do we? We want to use our innate in nature for infinity. That is what the 8 is, infinity, but you don't want it to be 9, you want a 10. But even that is not complete, nor is 12, it's 13. It's unlucky for some. The sum is S-U-M, the ones that do the sums, the one that cooks the books, the ones that control the finances. So you've got F-I on the start of that again. F is an incomplete E of energy, because it's missing part of it. And you put the F in front of the third I, oh dear, serious trouble. And then we don't realize what is going on. So do not adopt the guilt. Forgive yourself, because we've all been fooled. It's a very worrying trend of people are now saying, we have destroyed this planet. Unknowingly, yes, we have, but we've been tricked and we've gone along for it. But it is up to us to see past that and see how the trick is being played on us, so we can break this cycle. That is purely the intention, that you'll look at words and hear the sounds in new ways, because it does unlock so much and it reveals so much. It will lift the veil, the vile, the evil, the veil. Same spelling. The words just in different letters, because remember they can run forwards and backwards as well. So battle, again, it's energy through L and then the double Satan before you can get to the all. And just be, because that's what you are. You're not a person, that's a monetary term. On is light. So they're buying, or they're robbing from you basically. You're a being. You're a divine sovereign being to yourself. That's all you are. Simple as that. You just need to be no violence, benevolent, but keep logic in mind. Thank you.